Hello, this is Dave. So, well done for surviving the 4-day heat wave. A heat wave so savage, so dangerous, that it made 1976 look like an actual heat wave. Surprisingly, nobody's face melted off or nobody's blood turned so thick they had heart attacks and strokes. You know, it's ridiculous. Call me old-fashioned, but back in my day, you know, this type of climate change crisis was called summer. It's absolutely ridiculous. Where we happen to be living at the moment, I like to call it the land of make-believe, because we've got so used to lying and being lied to that, you know, we don't even notice it anymore, you know. It's like par for the course now, you know. We all accept politicians are lying to us, but, you know, we all pretend they're not lying to us, you know. And now we've got to the stage where we're not even aware that we're pretending anymore. We just accept it, even though in the back of our minds we know they're lying, you know. It's just crazy. It began early, very early. I believe it began with Santa Claus. You know, there's this unspoken rule that we as parents have to pretend that this Santa Claus is real. You know, and even when our children, you know, wake up to the fact that their parents, who they've trusted their whole lives, have lied to them, lied through their teeth to them, you know, we all have to carry on playing along for the benefit of the children who haven't worked out the lie. You know, it's I don't even know where it comes from. I guess I do know where it comes from. It comes from the media. The media keeps pushing this idea that we have to play along with the spirit of Christmas, which you know, most people are starting to realise that is a satanic festival anyway, and we're just going along with the wickedness. You know, even though it's cloaked in you know, love and togetherness and all that stuff. You know, most of us find it a festival of stress and pain and debt, actually. But that's where it started. The acceptance of lies. You know, believing in this land of make believe. You know, I think most people, even the sleepiest of muggles, realise that the COVID farce was a hoax. They knew it, you know, somewhere deep down inside they knew it. But there's that fear that, you know, what if, you know, what if I'm wrong? What if I'm, you know, I am going to die from this horrible disease? What if I infect my grandmother with this horrible disease? Yeah, it's, you know, it overrode the idea that you know, the whole thing's a farce. So everyone just played along with it, I believe, anyway. Some of us didn't. Some of us saw that the emperor had no clothes and refused to go along with it. You know, hats off to those people, because after 2 solid years of coercion, manipulation, fear, propaganda, you know, you still manage to stick to your guns. But you're not the people I'm really aiming this message for, because you've already shown your fortitude. Yeah, it's not even the muggles who've already taken the jab. It's those people who haven't taken it, not because they really you know what's going on, but something inside is saying, oh well, maybe I shouldn't. You know, they could be swayed to take it. They still think the narrative is real, but they just haven't got round to it yet. Even that's taken a lot of fortitude and courage, but they don't even know it. No, the thing is that right now, there's a lot of people who seem to believe that everything's gone back to normal. You know, life has returned to as it was. Not quite, because, you know, there's some new additional hardships. But on the whole, you know, the panic is over and life is resuming as normal. But no, that isn't the case. It's not the case at all. You know, the COVID situation was, you know, it's starting to emerge really as a prelude for you know, even worse to come. You know, we've been shouting and screaming for the last 2 years about the Great Reset, but that is what's on the horizon. And in order to get it, the COVID debacle was the first step. The next one obviously is the food crisis, the energy crisis, the fuel crisis, etc., etc., etc. Probably all these crises to occur simultaneously, to the point where everybody will get so worried and so worked up, they'll beg the government for, you know, whatever solution they've got pre-packaged, and we already know what that package is. Yeah, the Great Reset, Klaus Schwab, taking everything from everybody and making everyone happy about it. You know, this idea, you'll own nothing and be happy. Yeah, as if I could take away everything that Bill Gates and Klaus Schwab, you know, owns, and you know, give them just enough for what they need, you know, whenever I decide they can have it, and they'll be happy about it. I don't think so. You know, this "you'll own nothing and be happy" is for us. You know, they're gonna own everything. They're gonna own everything, and they'll be happy. Well, I think the only way we're going to be happy is if you know, we're either dumbed down or medicated to be happy. That's it. I guess that's the plot of Brave New World, isn't it? You know, everyone take their soma. Yeah. So yeah, it's a joke really, but well, no, it's not a joke. Yeah. The thing that yeah, where am I going with this? The thing that we've got to remember, the thing that a lot of people forgot how to do over this pandemic is the use of a particular word. Right? That word is no. Yeah. We've got to remember how to use the word no. Yeah, it's a very powerful word. Yeah, but it's also a terrifying word, because it kind of suggests that you know, well, it doesn't just suggest, it says that you are not going to comply, and that's scary for a lot of people, because, you know, there's a fear of confrontation. Big fear of confrontation that a lot of people have, so they don't like saying no, and I think that's ingrained in, you know, at least the British psyche. You know, got to be polite, got to you know, keep up appearances. So no, you can't say no, you can't refuse. So but this is what we got to do. We've got to get into, again, learning how to say no. And it's actually very easy, but as I said, people take everything that's going on too seriously. I know you know, people will say, yes, it is serious, Dave. Of course it's serious, Dave. People are dying, you know, all this stuff. But I'm gonna let you into the big secret. I want to tell you what the big secret is. Okay. The big secret is you're gonna die. That's the big secret. You're going to die. Yeah. And there's nothing you can do about it. You know, you don't know when it's going to happen. You don't know how it's going to happen. So it doesn't matter whether it happens because somebody holds you down and sticks a needle in your arm, or you trip up over a paving stone and hit your head. You know, you're gonna die, and that's it. So you can take that off the table. Once you take that off the table, because it is the only inevitable thing about your life, that it's going to end at some point. So that's off the table now. So what these governments have done, they've capitalized on this unconscious fear of death. They've created the fear of death with their media. You know, you can't turn on the TV without seeing some show where people die, and people die in the most gory and hideous ways. You know, so there is inculcated in us a fear of death. You know, and what these governments have done is, well, they've said to us, essentially, if you do as we say, you're not going to die. Even though we know, you know, in the back of our minds, we know we're going to die at some point. But they've convinced us that if we do exactly what they say, we're not going to die. And that is a powerful motivator. You know? So if you can take that off the table, just take that off the table. You know, you're going to die. Put that aside. That means nothing you do here matters. You know, in the grand scheme of things, nothing you do matters, because at the end of the day, you know, if you built a massive tower somewhere, you know, that tower's not going to be there in 1,000 years. Yeah. Everything you do is impermanent. It's not going to last. You know, and when you're gone, all trace of you will be extinguished off the earth. Yeah. Sorry to make this sounds a bit morbid, but no, stick with me here. Yeah. So nothing that happens here matters. What matters is what you do about this. Okay. It's a competition. It's a contest we're in with ourselves. Yeah. The game is, how are you going to play the game? It's as simple as that. So this is why you can actually shed the fear, because the worst thing that can happen to you is that you're going to die. Oh, you're going to die anyway. So it doesn't matter. So that means you should have the courage to do anything you like. Right? That includes saying no. You know, but yes, there will be a fear. Yes, they can threaten you with doing things, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, the worst they can do is kill you. So play the game well. Play well. Okay, and playing well really means standing up to oppression, standing up to evil, and those behind all this are decidedly evil, absolutely evil, right? And they hate you. They hate you with a passion. And they want to see you dead. You, your children, your grandchildren, everyone. They want to see. They want to see all of us dead. And they won't stop until they achieve their goal. So, you know, the time is now. You know, the proverbial shit has hit the fan. Yeah, this is where we are right now. You know, it might seem like everything's all quiet and stuff, but the plans are being drawn up. The next phase is being readied. Yeah, and in order for it to work, it needs your compliance. It needs you to go along with it until they get the mass of people complying, and then they can literally force it on everybody else. Right? But until they get people to comply with it in the first place, it's not going to work. And even over this COVID business, there have been, you know, wins on our side because people said no. and you know, it's not going to be televised. It's not going to be splashed over the news. You know, you're just going, you know, the muggles themselves don't get to hear about it, but they don't, you know, they don't get to hear about the convoy in Canada. They don't get to hear about, you know, the nurses saying, no, we're not going to be the first to take the vaccine. You know, they don't get to hear about it. You know, in the alternative movement, yes, we see these things, but obviously it doesn't have the same impact as if, you know, it was on the mainstream. So the point is that, you know, this isn't impossible to get through. It's not impossible to defeat. Yeah, it requires us to say no, to stand up and say no. To hell with the consequences. Yeah. For instance, we're coming up to a food crisis and a fuel crisis. Now I saw some guy on YouTube, basically, you know, he said, right, I'm not going to pay for this. I'm not going to pay these outrageous prices for fuel. So I'm going to pay what I think I should pay. You can have my reg number, you can have my address and phone number. Okay, but I ain't paying it. Here's 20 quid. That's what I think, you know, you deserve for this amount of petrol. You take it up with me later on if you want. That's it.
So that's how much they're trying to charge me. Show you how much we're going to pay them.
Yeah, next day. That's fine, thank you. Cheers.
Pump number 11, please.
That's 131.
Right, just so you know I'm recording,
Okay.
right?
Yep.
That's all I'm paying for my fuel.
Okay.
Alright, it's I'm making a stand of defiance, alright, which actually is not illegal, right? I'm not stealing your fuel, I'm paying what that fuel is worth. Alright, there's my registration number, my van.
Right.
Alright. I'm paying for a product. I'm not being ripped off by these companies no more.
Okay.
Right? And I've been doing it since they've started doing this, and I've had no comebacks from it. So you're more than welcome to report my van and report me. It's called a stand of defiance, which is a loophole. No, which is a loophole in the law against getting ripped off by people with fuel.
Okay.
So I'm not stealing. I'm making it perfectly clear that I'm paying for what that fuel is worth.
Okay.
All right. So my registration plate is out there.
Okay,
So
I'm
if you
gonna
want to
write
report
that
me
down.
to the police, do whatever, and I'll look forward to getting the summons through the court.
Okay.
Alright,
Can I just take the registration from you?
Registration's out there.
I can't.
HY12 YKK.
Okay.
Alright, I'm paying for a product. I'm not being fed up being ripped off. Alright, so if they want to report me, that's absolutely fine. Alright, I paid enough. I paid £1.40 a litre for that fuel. Alright, I'm not being ripped off anymore by these companies, alright? Okay. Cheers, mate. And that's how you do it. Fuck 'em.
That's it. And that's the sort of attitude we should all take. We shouldn't all just go along with this system just because, right now, okay, now today, from today, your electricity prices are now 4 times the amount that they were yesterday. Okay. It's going to be difficult to pay, but I suppose I've got to pay it. No, say no. Say fuck that. No. Yeah. There's a lot of people talking about not paying in October or something. I personally, I wouldn't just go along with that idea. You know, just not pay, just stop paying, and you know, hope for the best. No, because they're kind of set up for that. You know, they're ready for lots of people, you know, suddenly not paying. You know, they'll just start their corporate wheels and the legal wheels going, and everyone's going to get trampled over. No, right now you can challenge your electricity and gas and water, right, and preempt this thing. Do it with clean hands. There are ways of doing it. If you get in touch with me, I'll show you the ways. But there are ways of doing it, and you know, rather than hang on and say, well, you know, if I stay quiet and I don't do anything, maybe it will pass over me. No, they're coming for you too. They're coming for you, yeah, and they're not going to miss you out. You know, it's better to be active rather than reactive. Yeah, so I would say find a clean hands way of not paying these things. Yeah, they've tripled your bills, yet they're getting, you know, the utility companies are posting record profits. You know, this is a plan. It's not, Ukraine makes it more expensive. No, that's all bullshit. Yeah, you know, how can, you know, a fake war in Ukraine affect the entire world? It absolutely doesn't. I know they've tried to globalize the whole world so that everyone's interdependent on everyone else, but no, it hasn't worked in this case. Yeah, not everybody is dependent on Ukraine or Russia. So no, sorry, it's bullshit. Okay, it's a manufactured crisis. It's a manufactured lack. It's and it's there to terrify everybody, right? So don't go along with it, right? Don't think you know, it's best not to rock the boat. Rock the boat, yeah. Live without fear, okay? Because as I said, they're coming for you. So you know, go for them first. Right, so don't pay your electricity. Use the clean hands way. You know, say, you know, have you, you know, okay, here's an example. Okay, a lot of people are finding that their electricity company, for instance, has gone bankrupt, and now all of a sudden you're now with another supplier. Well, it turns out there's this thing called a novation agreement. It's a three-way contract by which, you know, a third party extinguishes an old contract and initiates a new one under the same terms and conditions, and you know, and essentially takes over that contract. Well, according to the rules, there either has to be consideration paid, which is money, to all parties, or all signatures from all parties concerned. And if there is no novation agreement, there is no contract. So you can start saying to these companies, well, sorry, I don't have a contract with you, and I don't remember signing a novation agreement. Well, that stalls the whole situation right there, and you can just not pay them, right? Because you don't have a contract, and you really don't have a contract. Okay, so if you start or you stop paying these people, they're not going to have that much of an effect on you, because they can't cut you off. They cannot cut you off, right? There's all these horror stories of them digging up the street so they can cut you off. Well, first of all, the billing company doesn't own the wires and pipes and everything. That's National Grid. So no, they can't do that. They have to actually get the agreement of National Grid, and unless you've done anything to National Grid, they're not going to do that. So no, they can't really do this. They can't really cut you off in that way. So in any case, they're going to cut us off anyway. They've got a whole planned set of rolling blackouts waiting for us. So what the hell? You might as well do it anyway, you know. So don't worry about the fear of being cut off. It's going to happen. So anyway, yeah. Just say no. Find a way to say no. Get that courage. That's what we need, because, as I said, they need our compliance to get any of this through. And you know, if there's mass non-compliance, then they switch to another plan. And I'm waiting for that other plan because I think that other plan's the aliens. No, I really want to see what they come up with. I want to see how this mile-wide ship in the sky is going to look. It'll be like, oh, that's cool. That's pretty good. Almost looks convincing. Yeah, so yeah, roll on the next part of the agenda. Anyway, I've talked long enough. Thanks for listening.